yesterday, some fundamentalist Christian told me, I think he said that several times before, or it was some other people as well. Over the years, this is happening a whole lot, where someone, obviously they see that I am kind of like a harmless type of person, and but apparently to them it happens so that I just am not convertible. I'm not a convertible car to be converted to Christianity, and so that tickles them the wrong way a bit, you know. So they keep coming back and they keep saying you're missing out on a lot, and you better convert, you know. You don't know what's gonna happen later, yeah. No, I don't. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna become a basset hound in my next life. But so whatever I say to them, they can't accept it, and it goes against their belief and any other idea other than anything other than walking on water, Jesus turning water into wine, um, a conception without sex, and a whole bunch of terrible things and much worse things. And so that is always cool, but reincarnation, no, that's totally impossible. That's yeah, that is just Pollyanna craziness, and but walking on water is all legitimate stuff. So so anyway, they'll come back and they'll finally say, "I will pray for you." This has happened many, many, many times throughout my internet activism phase for the last 10 plus years. And it has increased. So that's why I make these videos, because I mean, it is, on one hand it's very amusing, you know, it is clownish, amusing stuff. It is very entertaining also, and it is, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not so fun. It depends on which mood I am to start with. Well, it is fun when the person is friendly. Then we can have a fun back and forth. You know, I throw my ball, he throws his ball back, and I bounce it off because I don't want his ball. So he can have his ball back, he bounces my ball back, and so on. This is all cool, and I allow everyone to have their own beliefs and stuff. The problem comes in when someone, particularly when they know me for quite a while and they know what I do, and they know that I deeply care about things. I deeply care. I care so deeply that I cry at night. And I told Paul that he cannot tell me a horror story, true horror story in particular, cannot tell me a true horror story that he has just read on Google News or seen on YouTube or whatever, because like after 10 p.m. this is for me not just physical silence, it is brain silence for me, you know, or I cannot sleep. You tell me something horrible after 10 p.m. and I will be up for the next 5 to 7 hours, and I will be tossing and turning and crying and praying to my blue God, and be completely in total agony and in anxiety, and I will have brain terror and so on. I'm very, very sensitive with that kind of stuff. So anyone who has, and these folks, they have seen me now for quite a while. They're my friends on Facebook, and I accept everyone as my friend as long as they are nice to me. It could be Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Christians, even someone who has some kind of naughty type of religion, as long as they don't hurt anyone. Yeah. So I don't care what your religion is, as long as you don't hurt anyone, as long as you don't hurt a living being, I'm okay with that. If you have a religion about tattooing yourself, I will say I don't agree with it because your body is your temple. But as long as you don't hurt anyone else, as long as you don't inflict pain on anyone else or convert a child to pierce her body, or push drugs on someone, then it's cool with me. So those folks on Facebook, they've seen me now for like a couple of years or so. They know what I'm doing. They know the posts that I'm making, the activist posts, the petitions. They know all of this. They know I'm a very good person, and they know I have my ups and downs. I have written blogs about how I feel. I have written numerous grief blogs after December. And they know that I'm a deeply sensitive and deeply caring person. And then to say to me, I'm praying for you to be saved, for your soul to be saved. I mean, it does hit the ego. It is a bit a slap in the face, and it is a bit of a disappointment for me after having been friends with people like this, and then they come up like that. I mean, I'm not in their face with my beliefs, and I don't push my own God on them and my beliefs and my worldview. So I write blogs about this. I make comments that are very neutral, that are not in your face, that are food for thought, hopefully, for you. I see it as vitamin C for the brain. I see it as clay cures for the brain. I see it as wholesomeness, as whole food for the brain and for the mind and for the soul. So if anything that rescues the soul, then it is the path within oneself and not some outward shadow boxing that people are doing. Do your shadow work instead, as Teal Swan would put it. So you need to do your shadow work, and the shadow work is the path within yourselves. And I highly recommend to people to watch Teal Swan's videos. And that's another thing that ties right into what I'm saying right now. The kind of hate messages that she gets is just out of this world. And where do those hate messages come from? Do they come from a specific group? You bet. They come from the fundamentalist Christians. Because everyone else is like, okay, that's cool stuff, or they may not agree with it, or they think it's okay, why not? Let her have her belief and I have mine, or whatever. Most people, even the Muslims that are physically violent, even they, when they are on the internet, and I'm assuming now that most Muslims that are making it onto the internet, they first of all have to be quite bright, because they have to know how to pass that border of censorship that they're coming from their countries, because their internet is highly censored, because the Quran Society, they do not allow anyone to get out of it. They rule with an iron fist, and which is much, much worse, of course, than Christianity. There's no comparison. I'm not even comparing the two. It's a horrible, horrible backwards dictation. But I am worried about religion in general, to make it to that level of dictatorship. And it can happen with any religion. It can also happen with Christianity if people don't pay attention now. It can unravel itself back to its old stage 500 years ago. We have made it very far now into liberation of all sorts. So let's not ravel that back. Let's not cut the yarn and let the yarn to twirl its way all the way back and undo all that work, all that knitting work that we have done since then, all that moving forward work that we have done since then. I want us to stay on track and keep moving forward and not go backwards by starting to dictate to people again what to believe and to threaten them with hell and with, whatever, was terrible things, and say you better convert or something, or you're going to be punished in your afterlife or whatever. And that is not progression. That's not moving things forward. That is moving things back and right back to where the Islam is right now. So, and the Islam and Christianity have the same roots. Okay, if you read the Old Testament and also Judaism, they have the same roots and they have the same warmongering gods and the same devils and so on. Very, very unrestful god minds, but they are not gods in the sense that I'm talking about. They're not god level souls. Those are imaginations. Those are projections from the stream of sorrow that is like a river of unfinished business. That's like a collective river of unfinished business, and the projections from that are those types of dictators, imaginary dictators that people have created out of their own projections, out of their, daddy has beaten him, now he is projecting that image onto a god. Usually a god that has been dictated to him from someone else. So if they would at least make their own gods, that'll be a little bit more creative, more like sci-fi. But what I want people to do is create your own gods and make them how things would be wonderful. Make them in the image of a mother or father who nurtures their child, who nurtures their living being that's in their custody, who makes them feel like they can live and they can play and they can be creative and they can be themselves. Let's project an image like that onto the infinite. Okay, and then we're dealing with the highest level God souls that we are creating, highest level energies. Okay, they're all out there. It's all out there. And these possibilities are all out there, just like the colors on a rainbow are all out there. You choose how you want to create this world. Do you want to make it beautiful and wonderful and miraculous? Or do you want to make it into that what you have already experienced, which is your old trauma? The choice is ours. So We are the creators. We are the masterminds, every one of us. You know? That's why there's this stream of sorrow running through infinity, almost. You know? Hopefully not all the way into infinity. We can, it's up to us, you know, we can keep it, we can perpetuate this, or we can say, okay, I am letting that stream of sorrow become just a little phasing out, meandering stream in the sand that fades out at some point, and the sun will put a stop at this stream of sorrow at some point, where it dissolves, dissipates, yeah, becomes recycled. So I'm using water as an analogy. The stream of sorrow is an energetic field, an energetic river that people create with their own perpetuations of the trauma and the hurt and the cycle of samsara, and they just feed into it and project this out and feed into it and feed into it. And that is what we want to dissolve. We cannot dissolve it as long as we force our views on other people, as long as we are fascist in our ways of communicating and so on. We have to be tolerant of others. This is not a dictation, this is food for thought. If you say something to me that I find very antagonistic, that in my opinion is bad, then I will give you a counter view on life, which is what I'm doing right now, which is what I do on Facebook. So, and if we can keep this in a peaceful conversation, then there will be a chance, maybe, that these thoughts sink in and make sense at some point, hopefully for people. This is all I can say. I hope that this is a very uncommon common sense, hopefully in the future common sense, you know. So a rational sense, a sense of creative progression, politically free. We're all in this together, and moving forward to make things better. I'm saying this to the Christians, the Muslims, the Judaists, the Hindus, the Buddhists. I'm saying this to all people, or the non-conformists, the non-religious people, the atheists, and so on. Scientists who have hardened themselves also in certain beliefs, in certain crystallized, cemented in grooved ways of thinking. I've seen that too, you know. That needs to be dissolved, because there's just endlessness, and we are the creators in this flow of endlessness, and we need to listen to the good people like Eckhart Tolle, Teal Swan, Thich Nhat Hanh, and most of all Jiddu Krishnamurti, the father of all. Okay, so you guys take care. Bye bye.